Who is Shalin in my eyes, other than me?
Do you feel like every day's a winding back road, running round in circles with no place to call home? Sip another drink so you can hold on, hold tight, hoping that you'll find a little piece of daylight. Go light.
Shalin is an entrepreneur, someone who loves life, someone who loves food, someone who loves art, and hopefully someone who's creative. My best qualities, that's a tough one when you have to talk about yourself. Again, a question someone else should answer, but I would think that, but I'm very open. People know if I'm very open and straightforward, so people know if I like them or not, or I don't like being fake. That's one. Number two, I love to learn new things. I'm always open to learning. Number three is I'd like to treat everyone equally, so it doesn't matter who I'm talking to or who I'm working with across companies or social strata or whatever it is. I like to treat people equally, so I think those may be the best three. Worst three, I am messy. I'm extremely messy, whether it's at home or whether I'm traveling or whatever it is, so that's pretty bad. Yes, Aspanako. Number two, I'm not a morning person. Whether it's working or whatever, I can work late into the night till early morning, but if it requires me to wake up at 4 in the morning, that's not really my thing. I wish I was more of a morning person. That's two. Number three, what's number three? Okay. I think the happiest moment of my life personally was, of course, the wedding. It was great to have my family and, of course, marry the woman of my dreams. It was an amazing event. We had so much fun. Very happy moment. So Susie and I met in school. She was much younger than me. I was a house captain, things like that. So yeah, think about it, about 20 years ago. But yeah, it was in school, so it helped that she was younger because she was way beyond my league. So it helped to be the older person and catch them early and keep them. That's the secret, I think. The most memorable date, that's a tough one. There's been quite a few we've been on, but I think if you asked Susie, it'll probably be when I proposed, which was, how long ago is it? Maybe 8, 9 years ago. So it was our anniversary in the sense of when we started going out. I had told her we were going out for breakfast, and so picked her up, took her to Ratmalana. We did this beautiful helicopter ride, and she thought we were just doing the helicopter ride and coming back. We head to Bentota, and as we were approaching where Saman Vilas is on the beach, I got this big sign down that said, I love you, on the sand. And from there, it looked pretty cool. So we went and then we landed on the beach and walked up to Saman Vilas, and on Saman Vilas, they've got this beautiful infinity pool that ends at the ocean, pretty much when you stand on top. And right at the edge of the infinity pool, they've got this little gazebo thing. And we had breakfast there, and that's where I proposed. And I think she would say that's the best date ever. My hobbies are, well, my hobbies have changed over the years due to time constraints mainly, but I love food, whether it's cooking food, going out and eating food. Like I said earlier, even when I travel, before I travel to any destination, figure out where the best restaurants are and the best places to eat are. It could be eating on the street or eating at a restaurant or whatever it is, we'll go and experience food. So food is a big part of it. I love travel, and I travel for work and recreationally. And when I travel, I like to do stuff. I mean, I've done some interesting stuff. I've gone jetpacking in Koh Samui. I've gone jet boarding in Spain. I've skydiving in South Africa. So I like to do stuff like that. Favorite places to eat in Sri Lanka? Well, One of the places we're sitting in right now is the residence by Uga. Fantastic food all the time. And my office is just across the road, so I end up eating here at least once a week. Love the Tintangel, great food. Obviously Kama Sutra, best Sri Lankan food in town.
Sometimes in life you feel the fight is over, and it seems as though the writing's on the wall. Superstar, you finally made it, but once your picture becomes tainted, it's what they call the rise and fall. I always said that I was gonna make it, now it's plain for everyone to see. But this game I'm in don't take no prisoners, just casualties. I know that everything is gonna change, even the friends I knew before me go. But this dream is the life I've been searching for. Started believing that I was the greatest, my life was never gonna be the same, cause with the money came a different state.
So this is possibly the best tuna dish I've ever eaten, one of my favorite dishes in Sri Lanka. It's just beautifully cooked all the time, the flavors are amazing, so yeah, this is one of the dishes I recommend to anyone. I'm not a huge fish fan, but this is one of the best tuna dishes out there.
It seems as though the writing's on the wall. Superstar, you finally made it, but once your picture becomes tainted, it's what they call.
I've been knowing Mr. Balasuriya over a year as a very loyal guest at the Riot residence. He's an individual with a very, I'll say, sophisticated palate, where he's very specific with his food and drinks. So we at the Riot love to welcome this kind of individuals. So Mr. Balasuriya loves the items, the seafood items in the menu as well. So as a seafood lover, he usually goes for the tuna rossini. That's one of his favorites. And then also he has a very sweet palate. He goes for the chocolate mousse, a homemade chocolate mousse with virgin olive oil and Himalayan pink salt. This is something out of the box. He loves it, and that's some of his favorites. So as the restaurant manager, for me, I love to entertain this type of sophisticated individuals. So that's a challenge, and we are always here for challenges, and looking forward to welcome him for the future as well.
Possibly my favorite chocolate mousse. It's a very rich chocolate mousse with Himalayan salt all around it, and it's got another brittle crumble around it as well, and they've got virgin olive oil that's put on top of it that gives it this amazingly different texture. So things you don't really expect, that salt and olive oil go on top of the chocolate mousse, but it works really, really well. So this is what I love about Uga. They do different things. They really challenge your taste. I think the first day I cooked something was when I was at school. I was at St. Peter's. I would have been maybe 12 years old. I was a scout, and part of our badge process was that we needed to cook a meal. And the first thing I cooked was a fish curry. I still remember it. The whole recipe was written down by my mom and how to do it, and we went out and did it on a wood fire as well. It turned out okay, I think. I didn't know why I was doing what I was doing and what first milk meant and second milk meant and why I was putting vinegar in or whatever, but I did things the way I was told to do, and it worked out okay. Everyone survived.
Won't you sing me your sweet lullaby? Just the sound of your voice is the thing that I need. Won't you sing me your sweet lullaby? I could fall for the sound of your sweet melody.
So this is the baked butter mushroom. The bacon's around it. We've got this balsamic glaze on top, and the cheese and walnuts inside. What I really like about it is that It's got a really nice mix of flavors. It's got the sweetness that comes from the balsamic glaze on top, and then the saltiness of the bacon and the creaminess of the cheese and the crunch of the nuts all coming together, which is really, really nice. Double chocolate cheesecake, which is amazing. It's always consistent, always amazing. Possibly my favorite dessert in Sri Lanka. It's very rich. It's got a nice biscuit layer at the bottom. It's got this nice chocolate on top and this cream that comes with it that really balances it out. Strangest thing I've ever eaten is a scorpion, and it didn't end well. I was in Thailand. It was after a copious amount of alcohol, and this person came with scorpions and was serving it out, and there's this bravery that comes from alcohol, and I said, okay. And then I had this attitude that I'll do anything once. I say I had this attitude because after this experience, that attitude is no more. So I ate the scorpion. In about 10 minutes, firstly I started coughing, my throat started closing up, my whole face swelled up, so much that my eyes were swelled shut. I couldn't breathe. I was rushed to hospital, given like 20 different injections. I was in ICU. Apparently, one in 4 scorpions carry some poison on their shell as well. So someone should have told me this before I ate it. Favorite travel destination by far is Cape Town, South Africa. Love everything about it. The food is fantastic across the board, whether you ate in a little cafe or whether you ate in a star restaurant. Food is fantastic, the produce is fantastic, and the place is just beautiful. What I love about traveling is meeting new people, eating different cuisines, spending time with people. When I travel, I don't like to do the standard touristy tours. I'd rather go and explore myself.
I count the ways I let you down. On my fingers and toes, but I'm running out. Clever words can help me now. I grip you tight, but you're slipping out. I remember
What makes me the happiest while traveling? Good food, great company. If I were to be named after a city, okay. Hey, why not Colombo? Strangely, I feel homesick in almost every destination after about 4.5 days. Well, there's not much you can do really. If there's a possibility of eating some Sri Lankan food, that would help. In terms of being in touch with people from home, I'm always in touch anyway, thanks to Skype and Viber and all that. But yeah, I think go and grab some Sri Lankan food somewhere if possible, or something close to it helps.
You're insane, boy, never sleep alone, boy.
Okay, so we lost our pan, but the people in the surroundings is nice enough to give us a pan. It's not the pan I would use, but let's give it a go. Yeah, sauce pan ako.
You're all insane, boy. Never sleep alone, boy. Got a million numbers and they're filling up your phone, boy. I'm off the deep end, sleeping on that through the weekend.
Well, it's been a fun experience so far. We plan to cook. We forgot our saucepan. Ideally, this should be cooked in something like a frying pan, but some neighbors here have offered us this, and we're trying to make do. I guess that's what cooking in the outdoors is all about. You never know what to expect, and it's fun. It's starting to smell good. It's starting to look good as well. And yeah, let's see what comes up.
What happened to soul friendship to be?
Oh, great. We've got an empty road. Driving a SL400 Tourer from Mercedes. I'm a big fan of Mercedes. I'm a self-driver E usually, but it's amazing fun driving this beauty around. Amazing drive. It's one of their Tourer sports models, which are just generally longer than the others. It feels just amazing to drive. The sound of the engine is amazing. And when it corners, I mean, it's like no other car. When it corners, the suspension actually adjusts so that you don't feel the corner as hard. So you can corner really hard because it's low to the floor and really hugs the floor and lets you corner really hard. But the suspension adjusts so you don't really feel it, and that's just amazing. And just the feel you get when you press the accelerator on this is just amazing. So great fun driving this, and let's see if I can find some space to really give it a bit of a go. Oh great, we got an empty road. I wish I could explain how good this feels. It just pushes you back, and the acceleration is just amazing. It feels so good to drive this car. If I could relive any moment, I wouldn't want to relive a moment, but what I would like is if I had a little more time with my parents. That would be fantastic. I mean, I think that's an answer anyone would give. I mean, the people you've lost, and since there was a big age gap between myself and my parents, they had me in their 40s, so I didn't have that much time with them, or grown-up time with them. I wish I had that. So other than that, I wouldn't want to go back and repeat anything, but more time with my parents would be fantastic. The weirdest thing about me is I might not get invited to places after this, but when I get invited to people's homes and I go to their washroom, I run through all the stuff they have. What shower gels do they have, what moisturizers do they have, what creams do they have, so on. So it's weird, but it's industry specific, so it's weird but not weird. So there go my dinner invitations. Pugsley was my wife's idea. We always had dogs growing up, but I was never that into dogs. But she wanted to get a dog and she wanted a pug. So we went and got this pug, and he was tiny when we got him. He like fit in my palm. And at that time, he wasn't the best looking creature at all. He looked like a rat with bulging eyes. But as he grew up, he's just become such a big part of the family. He's become a huge part of our friend circle. When we travel, our friends come to see him. Everyone just adores him and loves him. He's like a child to us, and he's just amazing. He's got so much personality, and pugs are a breed that are a lot different. They need a lot of attention, and they're very, very clingy, which sometimes is a problem. But he's just adorable. So he really lights up our life every day. I mean, you go home after a really stressed day, and the first person to greet you is Pugsley, and he just changes your mood. So he's amazing.
These days.
With regard to the legacy my mom created, I mean, of course, there's four of our children in the business today. And we grew up in a home where we saw our mom create the first Sri Lankan-made cosmetic brand in our pantry. We saw her build it from zero to an amazing brand. And this gave us the platform to build from as well. So that was on a business level. But other than that, I mean, I'm sure her passion and her drive is in our DNA. And we got to see how she worked with people, how she handled people, how determined she was, and that definitely rubbed off on us. And I think that is her legacy beyond the business part of it, that how she educated us. She was very, very keen that we were all educated. And funnily enough, we weren't planning on all coming into the family business, but my sister Shalin, who handles our training and development and HR, she's educated in beauty and the beauty industry, so it works well. My sister, who handles our finance, Shalin, she was trained as an accountant, and all her higher education was in accounting. My brother and I were both marketing people, so it really fit in well. It's almost like she planned it, but she never pressured us to come into the business. So I think her legacy is pushing us to get educated, and whatever we learned watching her.